Hello there folks, I'm Dan Brown from asortofinterestinglife.com and I thought today I would finally get around to recording the long requested behind the scenes look at YouTube and how much I love it and how it fits in with my Narrowboat life video. I'm not sure if everybody will be interested in it, but some of you certainly are, so hopefully this will satisfy all your questions. So I've just noticed as well that I'm wearing this very short sleeve top. I forgot about these very short sleeves, so please don't let that and let my huge muscly arms distract you. Moving swiftly on. So I thought we'll have a quick look at the equipment that I use and what I generally do and filming and that sort of thing, and then talk about comments and trying to respond to hundreds and hundreds of people and the lovers and the haters and I don't know, but at some point we're going to go to my mum's house and we're also going to go on a kayak. So first of all, let's dive straight in. I don't want this to be a huge endless video because I could talk about YouTube and stuff indefinitely. So let's dive straight into the equipment. Right, I have three basic things for filming. Those are an iPhone 4, an iPad, which I'm currently filming on right now, and a Kodak Playful small handheld camera. Now, none of those are super fancy, state-of-the-art, cutting-edge, latest versions. The iPad I had to buy because I was using a MacBook Air, and I took that absolutely everywhere with me, and up mountains and down mountains and all the rest of it. And unfortunately the keyboard and mouse stopped working, so as soon as I had to start fetching a keyboard and mouse around with me, that made it impossibly unportable to use. Whereas the iPad, I can not only film something like this in HD, but I can do almost all of my editing on that as well. So that, as well being far more portable, is fantastic. The MacBook Air I keep at my mum's house, and we will look at the use for that I have in just a second. But first of all, like I say, nice simple iPhone 4, must be about four years since these came out, goodness me. But if I start filming with this, I can show you my other equipment. And here we have it. Hello everybody. I'm not sure really which camera I should be looking at the moment. So that's my iPad. The reason that I use this for most of my looking at the camera and talking pieces are because obviously I've got this huge screen that I can actually see what I'm filming on, so that's very handy. Ignore the Kendall mint cake in the background there. But what I also have is this, the Kodak Playful camera there. These are so old that they're not even in production anymore. I managed to find this one for 50 quid on Amazon about 3 months ago after I dropped my previous one in the canal, unfortunately. And that's sat on top of my tripod. This is a relatively new tripod that I bought last week. It's still just the cheapest one that I could get off the high street though. It cost about £30 and, well, as long as it holds the camera steady and straight, I'm happy. And it's this setup that I normally use for doing my longer videos and time lapses or filming the clips that go on the boat, the Narrowboat trip commentary videos I do. And that's as simple as it is. If we cut back to my mum's house quickly before we get out on the kayak. And here is that said very technical setup. You can see the external keyboard and mouse there, so that's why I don't use this and don't cart all of that around with me back into the boat all the time. So what I basically do is, in normal cases, everything will have been recorded and edited prior to me going to work on the iPad. So then in the morning I'll bike into my mum's house, transfer the video files from the iPad onto the MacBook, and then just leave the MacBook uploading them straight to YouTube. And as you'll see in a second, YouTube has now finally given me the option of uploading files earlier or before the date that I actually want them to be published, and then just giving me the option of a publish button so that I can have, I mean at the moment I've got 2 or 3 videos stacked up that are all online, and at any given moment I can be on the boat in the middle of nowhere, go onto YouTube, press the publish button, and suddenly I could put 3 videos on in the next 2 minutes if I so wished, but obviously I don't wish. But just to show you what I use the laptop for when it comes to editing, it's mainly for the longer videos, like if you've seen my Narrowboat Lad short film or my Oswestry short film, and you can see here in iMovie just the sheer amount of little clips and little edits that go on. I mean, this is the second half of the Oswestry film. The first half has already been edited separately, and that's what this first part that you're seeing here is. but you can see the amount of little clips and tiny little minute bits of editing that go into it all, and that certainly makes for some fun. And if you start scrolling down this, you can see this is just a little bit of the general footage that I have to draw from. And because I do have my phone on me almost all the time, when I'm out and about on the canal, I can obviously just take the camera out, record a little clip here, a little clip there, and that will be endless amounts that stack up. In fact, one of my next boat videos will be a random compilation video. But I just thought I would show you that for the general sake, and just to see what goes on behind the scenes of this boat life stuff. And that is basically the system. Have an idea, film it on either an iPad or a phone in most cases, edit it on the iPad in 95% of the cases, and then upload it from the laptop while I'm at work. And obviously having the nice safe place, my mum lives only about 10 minutes away from where I work, if that, so I can leave my laptop there, I can leave my bike there, which we are cutting to right now handily, and that's a nice safe place that I can do everything before and after work. And then obviously by the time I finish work, everything's finished uploading and I'm free to press the magic publish button as and when. Anyway, let's get on a kayak and let's go and enjoy the scenery. So, what about comments and keeping in touch with you all? Well, as some of you are probably aware, I do sometimes take an awful long time to reply to comments and messages that I get, and that's because I literally get hundreds upon hundreds a month now. And this month, for example, has been a pretty big month, and I have had over 750 comments and messages between YouTube, Facebook and Twitter, which you can imagine it takes an awful long time to get through, and that is something I can only apologise for the delay. But to be honest, at the moment, the fact that I'm getting to respond to every comment is quite an achievement, I think. So yeah, thank you very much for actively engaging and asking questions and just wanting to be more than just a viewer, an actual participant in this whole bizarre life that's going on here. Some of the messages that I get are just incredible, and the support that I've had from all over the world. I mean, you're talking from everywhere, places that you would never expect. And the things that people are interested in is fascinating too, and the requests that I get for videos of completely random boat life moments that I would never really think of actually thinking, yeah, that's what I'll do a video on. So thank you all. It means a huge amount, as always, to have this amazing swell of support, and everybody who I see like sharing me videos and spreading the word and all that, and reading me books, and people who send me messages about them. It means a huge amount, so thank you all so much. Now we're back on the boat for the night. I think first of all I'll take my cap off. Now I feel all liberated. Although I will apologise because I am sat in front of an extremely hot fire. I pulled the trigger and lit the fire way too early tonight again. Cannot get used to actually having good weather outside. So yeah, as much as it's fantastic to have all these people from all over the world getting in touch, and people recognising you in the street, and people coming past on boats going, oh, I read your book, oh, I've seen your videos, and it's all great and I love it. But you can imagine that by the time we're getting into the hundreds of thousands of views and approaching the million, there's a few people who have come across me that really, really do not like me at all. And, well, I've always thought when you see people on the telly or on the news and there's stories of all sorts of drama about online bullying and hateful comments on the internet and that sort of thing, I always think, my goodness me, it's a bit strong to make it a police issue. But I can honestly say that after seeing what I've seen over the last few months and receiving the general messages of hatred and threatening things that I do get every now and then, it really is unbelievable, and I can honestly see why some people may feel that, yeah, this has gone way too far and this is not acceptable at all. And if you take stuff like that personally, then my goodness me, I would be scared to go on the internet. For me, I would say probably some stuff has probably crossed the line into police matters, but because I'm not particularly interested, like I say, I haven't got the time to speak properly to all the people that I do want to talk to, so I have even less time to give to those who want to hate me and say nasty and mean things about me. And one of the things that I think is fascinating, and this, I don't know, perhaps you'll join me and find this quite odd. So, you might think, oh, hateful comments on the internet and nasty messages and things like that, oh, it's just kids on the internet, surely. Well, if I tell you that in almost every case, probably 80% of these cases are from people who are older than me, and I'm talking 30s and 40s. You're talking meant to be proper grown-ups, and yet I have had all sorts of general things about, oh, you're not a real boater, blah blah blah, and we'll get to that in just a second, because I mean there's many things to say, but also, and remember the age group that this is coming from, I've had people saying mean things about me, oh it's terribly offensive, literally about everything, about all sorts of things about me personally, about my appearance, the way that I speak, my teeth, my birthmark. Yes, a grown-up, yep, literally, grown-ups have told me, oh, you've got a birthmark on your face. I mean, that I find just bizarre, but perhaps that's just me, perhaps this is the modern world that we live in. And I've had, obviously, the size of my boat criticised and said that it's not a real boat and blah blah, I need to get a life and I need to get a girlfriend and all this sort of stuff and need to, well, there's an awful lot that I can go into, which I won't, there are many things that I would not repeat. As you may know, I don't swear at all on camera, and I, well, very rarely swear in real life. But there's all sorts of things that get proper thrown at me, and it's, I think, in some ways it's like, God, this is just absolutely crazy. There's people in the world who are meant to be like grown-up functioning adults who are going on the internet and attacking me for having a birthmark on my face. And you just think, I don't understand, I don't get it. But there's things like, oh, you're not a real boater, blah blah, you're a mummy's boy and all that sort of stuff, which I can easily imagine that there's many people who go, oh God, look at this lad, he's soft, blah blah blah. And there's this weird thing of people who like to think that they're revealing these incredible secrets about Dan Brown and all this sort of stuff, when I've been completely open. I mention it in my books and all sorts of stuff. Well, as I've mentioned previously in this video, where I work is literally minutes away from my mum's house. So I bike my bike into my mum's house. That's where, as I've mentioned in this video, I upload my videos from. Well, in fact, I still pay for the internet there. So gotta get me money's worth. But it's like, have things like, oh, your mum does your washing and all that sort of stuff, which isn't entirely true. But basically, there's a great little quote. I like this story because it shows us the sort of the family and the background that I'm from. So when I was first looking to get me boats, my mum was like, well, how are you going to do your washing then? And I was like, well, any little things I can easily do just in the sink and dry them over the fire, which at this moment is getting hotter and hotter. I apologise if I'm going bright red here. Can dry them over the fire, or in the summer just have a nice little line on the outside of the boat, so hopefully as few people as possible can see whatever I've got hanging up to dry. And so I said, like any bigger items I'll take down to the laundrette, because you've got places like Ellesmere and just, well, even marinas, a lot of them have got little laundrettes and stuff. And it's just a nice simple thing. Yeah, I can easily take a bag of washing in and get that sorted and tumble dried, and don't have to worry about steaming up the inside of the boat. And basically I'll do a proper video on what my original plans for boat life were and what my plans for the future are as well, because I think that'll be an interesting one. Yeah, look out for that next week. So anyway, then she had this great moment, and it's a quote that I've always kept and used, where when she was like, what? No way are you taking stuff to pay and have it done somewhere else. I'd be offended if you took your washing somewhere else. So, if I do have any sort of big items, like for example you might have seen me wearing me nice woolly jumper with the patches on the arms and all that, something like that, obviously I'm going to chuck in my bag and take back to my mother, who demanded that I take my washing back there should I need to. And obviously, I mean, for me personally, I'd much rather have something that's a nice sort of more fancy item of clothing that I own, done properly and dried properly, and well, I've got absolutely no problem with that. And in the same way that I've got friends, St Martin's, Western Rin, obviously back in Oswestry, got family all over Oswestry, Shrewsbury, out past Wrexham, just people all over the place, all these friends and family that I'm very lucky to have. And I always say, and well, I've many times said, my life is a team effort. And yet people still will be like, oh, you're rubbish, oh, you've got friends who live by a canal, so you're a bad person. And it's just that general sort of, why is it of any interest to you personally how I live my life. I mean, being told to get a job, being told that I need to sort myself out and get a girlfriend by people who are older than me, but going on the internet and attacking me in these ways just seems like the purest case of irony I can imagine. And because I've got no interest in responding to these individually, or, I mean, it's only because of having a chat with one of my friends who said, yeah, you should put something in this video. I thought, yeah, this is the YouTube video, let's have a general chinwag. One of the things that I do quite like is every now and then I get these great random messages from new subscribers saying, oh Dan, I don't know if you've seen this, or so-and-so was saying this about you, and general sort of abuse that they've seen towards me. And they're like, so I checked out your videos, and yeah, well, I'm a new subscriber, I don't know what their problem is. And to those people as well, thank you very much. It's good to know that when people look at my videos, they do think, oh, this is just a random lad in his 20s enjoying life, going down a canal and kayaking while he's still young and able to do it. And that is, well, that's what I'm all about. It's unfortunate that there are people in the world who have to attack such people as myself, who, I mean, I literally live as a simple and low impact a life as possible that affects as few people around me as I possibly can, and yet still I'm a target for some pretty horrible abuse. And, well, that does, I suppose, sum up the world that we live in today. Anyway, I don't know, I'd say ultimately, if somebody wants me to apologise for having a series of loving family members and friends all over the local area, then they're going to be waiting a very long time for that. Yeah, in summary, thanks for everybody who watches. It's a huge honour to be approaching these ridiculous levels of, like I say, over 80,000 views in a month, 4,000 views in a day sometimes. I mean, it's just beyond anything I could have imagined. And all the workloads of all these comments I get, it's fantastic. What a problem to have that I can't respond to hundreds of people around the world who are asking me questions about anything. Not just boat stuff anymore, it's great. So anyway, yeah, thank you very much. I love you all. Everybody out there, good and bad, is keeping me on my toes and keeping me wanting to create new and exciting stuff. And my goodness me, I've got me tent on board now and all sorts, so hopefully there's going to be some excellent summer adventures to come. I'll say thank you very much for watching. Check out my other videos for all sorts of proper boat life videos. Subscribe, like the Facebook page, feel free to follow me all over the internet and add me on Twitter and Facebook and that sort of stuff. Check out my books. Oh yeah, my books have also been under incredible attacks and scrutiny, and I've been accused of trying to profiteer from my books, which are only £1.53, which amazingly, in the profiteering accusation, I sell my books at £1.53 because that's the lowest price that Amazon will let me sell them for without Amazon taking the main chunk of the actual money from it. So again, thank you to everybody who supports my books and helps me out in my, well, having a look at those. That means an awful lot to me too. If you'd have told me that I'd sell over 1,000 books in my life, I would have never believed you. And the fact that this is just the first two and I haven't even got started on proper boat life, and one day when I just disappear off down the canal in a straight line and never come back for years on end, well, it means an awful lot for all this support. And the fact that, well, there's so many of you these days and the subscribers keeps rising and I can't keep up and getting messages. Anyway, I've said all that time and time again. Thank you all so much. Hopefully I'll see you around soon, and until the next time, have a fantastic day and farewell.